Good evening, Minister, and welcome to Nasscom Future Forge. This is the place where deep tech startups from all over India, investors from all over India, the entire ecosystem has got together and to celebrate the spirit of deep tech in India. You have a full room here. I don't know if you can see it, but you have an absolutely full room here despite the Bangalore rains and weather. But thank you so much. I know you've had a terrible schedule today, but thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. The minister, I'm sure, does not need any introduction. Minister Rajeev Chandrasekhar, Minister of State for Skills, Entrepreneurship, Electronics and Information Technology. Within the industry, we've also given him another portfolio. I don't think he's aware of it, but we call him the Minister of Deep Tech. He's a guy when you want to talk deep tech, when you want to get something solved, when you want to say, please don't do this crazy stuff, you're going to kill deep tech, he's the guy we go to. He's the guy who really gets deep tech. And I know a lot of you, especially the startups, have been waiting to hear from him. But before I hand over the stage to Minister, I would like to announce the much-awaited League of Top 10 Emerge50 in the presence of the Minister so he can congratulate them, and then we will request him to say a few words. So Justin, over to you.
Thank you, Debjani. I'd like to invite back on stage Debjani, Kritika, and Ram Narayanan to do the honors of giving away the... All right, ladies and gentlemen, please give them a huge round of applause as I call out their names. The winners in this year's edition in the League of 10, the Nasscom Emerge50 Awards. Under the category of healthcare, the winner is Azuka. Under the category of sustainability, the winner is Zaima. Under the category of logistics and transportation, the winner is Nayan Technologies. Under the category of media tech, the winner is Intot Technologies. Under the category of health tech, the winner is Haystack Analytics. Under the category of cybersecurity, the winner is Blue Sapphire Cyber Systems. Under the category of technology innovation, cybersecurity, the winner is 42 Technology Innovations. Under the category of aviation and space tech, the winner is GalaxI. Under the category of manufacturing, the winner is ProxG. And the last, under the category of health tech, the winner is Artilis Artificial Learning Systems. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your League of 10. Please give them all a huge round of applause, the winners of the Nasscom Emerge50 Awards 2023.
Can we request the winners to please stand up? We will do the certificates in a while, but can we request you to please stand up where you are? Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the top 10. I know you all are waiting eagerly to hear from the Minister, so without any further ado, I'm going to pass it on to you, Minister. And in case you don't know it, there's also a new term that especially the startups use when they refer to you. So ladies and gentlemen, presenting RC in the house.
Thank you, Debjani. Thank you to all the team at Nasscom for inviting me to speak today. Thank you for not just inviting me to speak today, thank you for doing this. Thank you for this Nasscom Future Forge 2023 that certainly shines a spotlight on a very important part of the digital economy expansion and digital economy goals that our Honorable Prime Minister has laid out. Most of you know in this room that our government, our Prime Minister, has been very deeply invested in, emotionally, resource-wise, in creating a significant, globally competitive digital economy and innovation ecosystem. And over the last many years, you've seen how the digital economy has gone from about 4.5 to 5% of GDP to about 11.5% today. And we expect to touch by 26 about 20% of the GDP to be or consisting of all things technology, all things digital, and certainly a large part of that should be, as we move forward, deep tech and the ecosystem around that. So I think we are, like I said, we are growing the digital piece of our national economy at about 2.5%, 2.5 times faster than anything else that is growing in our country, and that is on a base that is anyway expanding with infrastructure, agriculture, and pretty much every segment of the economy expanding. So to have the digital economy grow at 2.5 times a base that is already growing is also proof that what we want to do and what we want to achieve as a country and as participants in this ecosystem is pretty significant. I will certainly share with you, and Debjani knows, and I think most people know that I'm very deeply committed to this next wave of innovation, and that deep tech will play a significant role in the next wave of expansion of our startup ecosystem and innovation in general. And just for those who need to see a perspective of this, if you look at 2014, we were a big player, we were a big presence in the global ITES space with great world-class companies that had been created in the 14, 15 years since the Y2K. The Wipros, the Infosys, the HCLs, the TCSs of the world, they're all world-class franchises. And in the last 8, 9 years, adding to that momentum and that presence of these global companies, global footprints of these companies, we have created an innovation ecosystem that has focused significantly on the consumer internet space, in some sense catalyzed by the India DPI and the digitization of the government and digitization of government processes. And I think that this is certainly a place to just stop and pause and remember that the goals that our Prime Minister set out in 2015, when he talked about digital India and talked about digitalization, was not really just to create unicorns and create startups and create, the next big idea in India. It was certainly what he laid out very clearly in a three-pronged, three-objective, three-goal-led mission, which is that A, of course, technology must transform the lives of Indians, transform our democracy, transform our governance. B, that we must create a significantly globally competitive, significant scale and presence of a digital economy with a lot of opportunities for youngsters. And the third, and that is where deep tech comes into the picture, he said India must transform, morph from being a consumer of technologies to being architect, producer, designer of devices, products, platforms, solutions for the world. So that was not a small ambition for him in 2015, but 8 years on, and I can tell you that a lot of people did mock him and did laugh at him in 2015. But here we are in 2023 today as a country and as an innovation ecosystem. We are legitimately today, we can lay claim to the fact that we are straddling and we have a presence in almost every segment of the tech ecosystem and the digital economy, the global digital economy. So while we are strong and continue to grow strongly on the ITES space, ER&D space, the consumer internet continues to represent huge innovation and startups, more than 1 lakh startups and significant amount of FDI. We are now building and planting our flags in pretty much every area: semiconductors, the Web3, artificial intelligence, high performance computing, cyber security. And in every one of these areas, there is a clear strategy on the part of the government to create capabilities, create competencies, and create successful, meaningful, scalable, global standard startups and enterprises that can bring to bear capabilities in these areas. So that collectively is what we refer to as deep tech, whether it is a semicon design startup that is building the next AI chip, or it is the India AI startup that we will launch on the 11th of December, the India AI program that will be a well-funded, very well conceived, very well architected program that will focus our startup ecosystem on real life use cases of AI in healthcare, in education, in agriculture, in security, in governance. We intend to do that. Cyber security, we've just green-lighted a program that will create the next wave of really deeply capable, deep capacity cybersecurity, domestic cybersecurity, Indian cybersecurity companies for the world that will again have the support of the government of India in terms of both allowing the government's own digital workplace as a sandbox, as well as creating funding and other resources for startups. High performance computing, quantum computing, all of these areas we have programs, we have plans. And so therefore, when the US President Biden and our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji signed this historical accord where on the critical and emerging technologies of artificial intelligence, semiconductors, high performance computing, and quantum computing, India and the US are agreeing to partner. When India and the EU sign a similar agreement, when India and Japan sign a similar agreement, and India and now UK are negotiating a similar agreement, and India and a couple of other countries are negotiating these similar agreements. It is certainly clear, and it should be clear to all of us who are passionate about deep tech, that this is the next big wave of innovation. I will just add here a little point for those in the room who seek to understand the nuance of why deep tech is important. I think the innovation ecosystem in India that has graduated from being the back office of the world, high quality back office of the world, to being consumer tech companies that are delivering solutions and applications at scale because of the population of India, is also now bolting on to this ecosystem. A group of companies and a large number of companies that will be creating cutting edge technologies, cutting edge patents, intellectual property, and the value will not just be about scale and size and the number of customers, but about the critical technologies that are going to be developed by these deep tech startups, algorithms, learning models, foundational models that are going to deploy, use AI to solve real life cases, whether they are the next generation of AI chips, whether they are chips for AI on the edge, whether these are the next generation of cybersecurity platforms to determine threat intelligence by combining both artificial intelligence and other core technologies of so that we are really getting into an area where Indian capabilities to build technologies, build not just solutions, but building the core underlying technologies that power these solutions of the future is now going to be rolled out and is certainly going to be evident. I am very excited. I have said this on many occasions. I've said this to Debjani and the team at Nasscom individually and collectively as well. I'm a veteran of the tech ecosystem. I've spent many years, many decades, 3 decades plus. And I certainly look at what is happening around us today in the country and say that I've never been more excited than today. I mean, I see so much of headroom of growth and success and opportunity that it just is the most exciting time. And so, if there is a regret for old veterans like me, is that we are not amongst the youngsters who are in the room. But like I said, I'll take vicarious pleasure through your successes, and it gives me great honor and privilege to be in some ways helping you succeed. And that is certainly our mission in the government of India, and our Prime Minister has made that very clear, that we certainly want to do every policy and every law, rule, guideline that we enact should be aimed at making more and more of our young Indians successful, more and more of our brave and confident entrepreneurs who step out into these cutting edge frontier areas successful. And that is certainly a mission that we will not be found lacking in. So I again thank you, Debjani, for this really remarkable initiative by Nasscom and to the team there, including Ramkumar Narayan and Harish Singh. Thank you for to celebrate these successes, and may these successes, may through these successes, may 100,000 other deep tech startups bloom. And as for the government of India, we will certainly be not just enabling you and creating policies and frameworks for you, but we will certainly be sitting on the sidelines cheering you as you grow and succeed, not just in India but around the world. So thank you again. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for having me here. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister. Minister, I know you are rushed, but our starters have been dying to ask you a few questions. Will you be okay to take around 4 or 5 questions? Lovely.
Yes.
So can we have, yes, please, introduce yourself and your question.
Hello. Hi. Hello, Minister. My name is Dilip Murali. It's a pleasure to meet you today. Before I ask my question, I'd like to first say thank you for meeting the startups, especially during the Silicon Valley Bank crisis. It was very timely that you came and spoke to us, and it gave us a lot of assurance. Now, coming to the questions, I have 2 questions. One is around the access to data, which is still a challenge for startups. So how do we unlock data, and especially in the core sectors? And what is the government doing about it? And the second aspect is around data standardization in core sectors like health, where you cannot have a blanket policy across data, and it needs to be specific for such sectors. So how is the government thinking along those lines, especially around data standardization in areas like health, defense, banking, etc.? Thank you.
Good question, and I'm assuming that you are saying this from a point of view of training a model or AI, and let me just say that we have a draft document out that is being converted into a cabinet note, and we hope to have that cleared by cabinet very soon, which is the crux of the India AI program. And we are asking the government essentially to build a six-pronged India AI strategy that consists of creating a significant AI compute infrastructure that will be available as a service for startups that want to use those GPUs to train their models. We have a large India datasets program that is being built out, that is being architected and designed and built out, that will be a single point uh, stop for curated access to datasets for the Indian research ecosystem and for the Indian government and the Indian startup ecosystem. This is clearly by design not going to be available to the multinationals and the global brands. And that datasets platform, the ambition is that it will just certainly have a cross section and as diverse a collection of datasets that is available and will be assembled. I just want to say that one of the legislative tools that we are using is that we are moving down the road of mandating that any private platform that anonymizes personal data and with the consent of the data principal uses the anonymized personal data for their own models will be mandatorily mirrored in that data. That anonymized personal data will be mirrored in this India datasets program. So the idea is that over the next 24 months or so that we will have simply, this is the ambition, that simply the largest diverse collection of data sets that will be assembled and be available to any AI ecosystem in the world. That is the ambition, that is the plan. And the other things, as the questions come, I'll answer you, but that is broadly it. And there should be, I mean, you should just look forward to it. And if you're around in Delhi, I would urge you to participate in the India AI, the first global India AI summit, which will again be by design and by intention a must visit, must attend program for AI practitioners around the world. in their calendar, just as Semicon India has become. So that's the plan, that's the idea. Stay tuned.
Hello, Minister. This is the second question coming from, I'm Gautami. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Aeronauts. So we are into maritime asset inspection. So as we also rely on AI, and my question to you is like, based on your recent, interaction in UK on the safety with AI. So what are the major key takeaways from the summit? And what is government and as you are taking the initiatives in the regulatory aspects of safety AI in India?
So yes, I think it is the first such coming together of global leaders, Vice President Kamala Harris, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, and 28 countries and their ministers attending in this legendary Bletchley Park, which is, as you know, for those who follow history, is really where the birth of, in a sense, the computing, Alan Turing's first set of work occurred in terms of decrypting World War II radio transmission. So, look, I just want to report back to you that the basic concepts that India has been putting forth for the last 2 years since 2021, that tech must be maximized for its good, for its innovation, for its growth, and we should be all techno optimists. But certainly, there have to be guardrails that deal with safety and trust and accountability of the tech platforms and the technology, underlying technology itself. That concept, I think, now has now got global recognition and global alignment on. That is, as we speak to any technology, new or existing, ranging from social media to artificial intelligence, that safety and trust certainly should be on the table as much as we talk about innovation. Now, having said that, certainly there is a slight difference in how the government of India and Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji is approaching this, and some countries are. We believe that this cannot be a binary. We don't want safety and trust, and therefore regulation of safety and trust to be so deep and intense that it kills innovation. For us, the priority is really about innovation, growing the digital economy, making AI the kinetic enabler of the digital economy, and growing it and expanding it in various different horizontal and vertical directions. But ensuring that the guardrails for safety and trust are there. So we don't think this is a binary. Some countries still are approaching this and trying to demonize AI. And in my closing comments, I spoke at the plenary there and I spoke in the closing as well. I said, look, for the largest connected democracy in the world, on behalf of the largest connected democracy in the world, I want to put forward that we don't consider this as a 0-1 game. We consider that AI can be harnessed and grown significantly and successfully, and startups can really thrive and innovate in the AI space, and that the guardrails of safety and trust and accountability can also be bolted on without affecting the momentum and growth of the AI innovation ecosystem. So I think we are anyway moving down that course. The Bletchley Declaration, I don't know if you've read it, but do read it. We expect on the 12th and 13th and 14th of December, India is chairing the Global Partnership for AI in New Delhi. And we hope that the New Delhi Declaration will take the Bletchley Declaration forward, but in a much more harmonized way with growth, expansion, innovation, and investment, as well as safety and trust. We don't want this conversation to become a binary conversation about safety and trust or growth and expansion.
Hi, sir. So I'm Lakshmi Das, co-founder of Prophase Technologies. So we're the world's first web application firewall to be completely architectured on Kubernetes platform. So we've been awarded as the most innovative product by Data Security Council of India, and also the most innovative product in the KuppingerCole Analyst Report, which is the European equivalent of Gartner, right? So with being said, after saying that, so there's this concern in the Indian ecosystem wherein when we approach, even the governments or the, big enterprises, they always vouch for being on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. So for a startup, based out of India, I mean, we all know that, how people do get into Gartner Magic Quadrant, right? So this is a concern that the whole industry is facing, especially in the cybersecurity area. And with the advent of the new data protection bill, and we are all saying, to go for indigenous products, make in India and all of that, none of these Gartner, products will be able to give it to you in writing that none of the data is going to go out of the country, right? So this is what we are bringing onto the table, and this is the value add they're be bringing, even, being innovation leaders and all of that, being accomplished, being given the recognition, kind of these kind of things. Still, we are not able to get that kind of, the feedback from the government. So what do you think the government can do to support the Indian startups in this particular aspect?
I missed some of the points that you made, but I'm assuming that you're talking about cybersecurity and you're talking about startups in cybersecurity. Am I right?
Yes. So we're not able to get the fair share in the market space because most of the even the government sectors, they vouch for going for a Gartner Magic Quadrant product. So this is the thing that we need to change for the supporting the Indian ecosystem, right?
Yeah, so we are changing it, we will change it, and I certainly want to tell you that there are two problems here. One is the problem that there is really the awareness about what cybersecurity represents as a challenge is still very limited, even amongst CISOs. And we are addressing this issue of ensuring more and more domestic Indian, made in Indian technology for cybersecurity because A, we have to, and this is a determination that we have taken. And I just had a meeting today, a longish meeting today, where we have created the contours of how we will roll this out and how we will drive innovation in cybersecurity in India and platforms, solutions, etc., etc. Now, part of the problem is that, and we are addressing this problem as well, the problem that I'm putting forth is also that CISOs of large enterprises and or government or small enterprises are usually not really terribly well skilled in cybersecurity. So they understand the broad 80,000 feet, 40,000 feet, 30,000 feet above sea level constructs of cybersecurity, and that lends them to really go by proven, mature products rather than risk and take on products that are from startups. We are even addressing that issue by recrafting the ICR, which is the Information Security Awareness Program that the Government of India funds to create CISOs for companies and CISOs for the government, where we are making them a lot more competent, lot more capable, and creating a skilling, reskilling, upskilling ladder for them, where almost every year, like a pilot, a CISO has to go back and get recurrent training. So I think be patient. I see over the next 3 to 6 months that the landscape for cybersecurity will materially change and materially change to benefit those who are building homegrown technology, homegrown as in not just in the home, but homegrown as in made in India technology. And you will find that as the government of India is now having a clear plan to secure its own digital workplace and digital footprint, that the market for these technologies and products and platforms will also significantly expand in the coming months and years.
Hello. Yes. Hello, sir. This is Niranjan from Atagrat. First of all, it's a pleasure to meet you. So we make solutions in the computer vision space where we create products that have create the roadway intelligence. So number of vehicles, the license plate of vehicle, and so on. So one of the issues that we have faced, while bidding for government tenders and so on is there are a lot of people who bid who say we are 99.9% accurate, and when players, international players come, they do not work on our demographics, such as we have two-wheelers and we have regional challenges. So I want to know what the government plans to do when it comes to performance benchmarking to whoever coming into the AI space. Thank you.
So yeah, so look, I have met many startups in this space, and I think this is fairly a very exciting space. But the biggest customer for this is state governments, and I would actually urge Nasscom to run these, in a sense, advocacy or programs where you get state governments and their transport commissioners and their transport secretaries and their transport ministers to understand how deploying technologies like this can save them so much of money, can create more and more enforceable law and order. And I think there needs to be really almost a platform where, and maybe this is the right, Nasscom is the right organization to host it, and the government of India is more than happy to be a partner there, where the startups can basically pitch to all of the state governments in terms of the technologies that they have. I am a believer that this every state must sincerely and seriously adopt this and with some common standards and some common framework. Now, whether the government of India should create the common standards or should be an industry body like Nasscom working with the startups and state governments create an harmonized set of standards and specs, that is a question that I would obviously like to answer by saying you do it. But if you say that I should do it, then I'm happy to sit with you and do it. But I think certainly an industry lead on this, Debjani, is something that I would certainly recommend. It's a great area. There's a lot of entrepreneurship and a lot of very, very smart companies in this area that I'm seeing that are having great difficulty in A, educating the state governments, B, after educating the state government, making the necessary breakthrough. So this is something certainly that I would toss into the Nasscom court with the assurance that if the government of India is required to help you, we will step up and support you in any which way.
All right, I think with that, that would be the last question. We'd like to thank the Honourable Minister for taking those questions, thank the audience for asking them. I'd like to invite Ram Narayanan, Chair Nasscom DeepTech, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Minister. Thank you for taking the time in spite of your busy schedule today. And first of all, I think thank you for the inspiring roadmap from the government perspective in terms of supporting for the deep tech ecosystem. I think it's truly inspirational, and I'm sure all of the startups in the room and who will be listening to this overall will be inspired to do more in the government. We acknowledge the point you made about industry bodies wanting to work, needing to work with the state governments to actually create that certification and standardization that you talk about, and I think we'll take it forward as Nasscom under the Deep Tech umbrella to move that forward. Again, thank you, and huge congratulations to all the winners of the Emerge50 award and the League of 10. And thank you, Minister, again for your time.